Hey guys, Todd Cantwell here.
I'm Alex Tete. I'm going to read some very mean tweets about myself.
Let's get into this. What was Todd Cantwell ever actually good at? One of the most overrated players from last season. Okay, that's fantastic. I really appreciate your opinion on that.
Tet is a nice guy, but about football. That's so bad. What? Oh, this one is nice. I have no idea why we extended Tete's contract. He has passed it since 2016 and has developed Ledley King-style knees. Wow, I can't walk. Okay.
F*** off, Todd.
Alex Tete is quite remarkable. Remarkable in that he's managed to get promoted to the Premier League with Norwich twice, despite not being able to play football. Oh my goodness, these are so bad.
Todd Cantwell is a pass it on. If you don't know me, I don't think you can tweet something like that. If you know me and you think I'm a then I just have to own that. But I think, yeah, that says a lot about the person who's tweeted that.
Tete is like Tom Brady of football. Oh, that first line is actually a compliment. Old past his best, but just won't quit. I'm on my way, come on.
Yo, Todd, you look like a girl. Is that just because I have long hair or interesting?
If Tete was going to sign out on top, he would have retired after that toe poke with that Old Trafford.
Todd Cantwell is a Jack Grealish with a TikTok account. To be fair, Jack Grealish is good. He is good.
Tete is shooting because he thinks he's good. You did it once and you're still Oh. You know you are when Alex Tete comes on to straighten your midfield up. Wow. Well, thanks for this. It was quite tough to read about these tweets, but listen, we do read this as players. We are human beings, it affects us. So please, whoever is behind this, please just stop.
I think it's important that during a tough time like this that we really sort of knuckle down on spreading positivity, because it's a tough time for a lot of people. And you know, I'm interested to understand why someone feels they can tweet something nasty about someone else with having no sort of consequence to it, which I think, you know, social media accounts need to look into, because I don't agree with it. But for me, my message is just try and spread positivity, and always remember that there's someone on the end of your tweet.
Picture out of Chinese whispers tells me that she's only into me when she's all out drinking at the weekend. How to cut short our conversation, I'm predicted and a little impatient. While she's all advertised, I'm still tantalized, always catching feelings out of white lies. What you gonna do without talking too much? When you got no hope to believe in, no hope, but you can't just leave it. What you gonna do when it's all too much? When you got no hope to believe in, no hope, but you can't just leave it. But you can't just leave it. No, I was set to meet my Lincoln date one evening drinking. We made other plans and stayed inside tea drinking. I'm not used to third base on a first date, and the situation slivered, well, she couldn't stay awake. How to cut short our conversation, I predicted and a little impatient. And while she's all advertised, I'm still tantalized, I'm always catching feelings out of white lies. What you gonna do with
towards Achijo Afoe. And Howson! Wow, what a strike that is from Johnny Howson. Out of absolutely nothing. The 10 men of Norwich are level with a screamer.
Good evening and welcome to a windy, cold Tuesday night in Stoke. Nothing changes, although the stadium's a little bit different to what it used to be, Rob. Is that such a thing? It used to be, didn't it? It used to be a horrible place to go and play, a horrible stadium. Things have changed a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I think the pitch would be lovely. You know what I mean? Like I say, at grounds like Stoke, like here at Carrow Road, where the pitch is now, there's no mud on it or whatever, it is a perfect surface. But what I can remember about Stoke, they've sort of got 4 separate stands. And if it's blowing, sort of like which it does often, yeah. There's no like safety to keep the wind out. It will be gushing across it. So it won't be great conditions, but hopefully it won't be that windy to affect the game.
Yeah, there's no rain at the moment.
No.
So that's one bonus for them. Have you had many nights at Stoke? Any bad events at Stoke or anything like that?
Not really, not really. I played at both grounds, played at like the new one as well. Like, you know what I mean? So, but like I said, what I can remember is it is actually on a hill as well. So like a gentle breeze down in the town centre is quite gusty up on the hill. So not having those protection in the corners as well does make the game a bit more difficult to play.
Yeah, and it is a game for Norwich tonight. Look, they're doing very well in the league at the moment, sitting top of the league, and again, an opportunity to push themselves on and keep that distance in between.
Yeah, we said that. You know, I mean that 3 games 2-3 weeks ago, I think. You know, I mean when they played the bottom sides, and when I say talk to us after these run of games. Now it's coming to that run of games now after tonight. Really, when we said they've played the Bristol, Swanseas, Middlesbroughs, they've done really, really well. You know what I mean? Like to be where they are, top of the league, there cannot be no better place to be. So now we're looking at them as a real force in the Championship. And I would say they're not even playing at their best.
No, they're not. And we'll talk about Norwich and Stoke a little bit more in detail. But here's what else is coming up on tonight's show. Out on the gantry in Stoke, we've got Brian Guns there. He's bearing the cold for us. Fortunately, we haven't got to do it ourselves. We're here tucked up in Carrow Road. Our virtual guest, Darren Huckabee, will join us with his nice warm house. And also Jordan Hugo will be giving us his lowdown on his teammates. Probably at half-time that'll be. So join us for that as well. But you know, we talk about Stoke and it being a tricky place to go and play. And like I said, I've not had too many bad experiences there. But, you know, over the years, it's got that they say about it, don't they? Cold, windy Tuesday night. It's always used as a bad place to go. And
this time of year as well, you know what I mean? Like there's going to be no warmth about the place and whatever, like I say. And any wind that is blowing is going to be the wind chill factor will make it feel 2, 3, 4, 5 degrees colder as well. Like, I mean, so, but it's a professional game. You've got to be ready to go there. And like I say, to run Norwich on at the moment, they've got to be going there licking the lips and saying, listen, if we can win this game tonight, another one of our competitors that come the end of the season, Stoke are on a good run as well. It sort of like pushes them back a bit as well, and it cements Norwich at the top of the table.
And you generally don't care when you're playing well if it's cold, wet and windy, you know, because you're on that run of form. You don't mind playing at all. And a good opportunity for a couple of players again tonight. Some sort of big team news coming in for Norwich as well, with all the injury-ravaged squad they have at the moment. Placheta and Rupp drop out of the side. We think probably down to a couple of things. They've picked up little injuries, niggly injuries over in the past, and it's given an opportunity for Alex Tettey to come back into that central midfield area, Rob, and Josh Martin as well to get an opportunity to start a game and really show what he can do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you've got no problems with Alex Tettey. He's he's 100% top pro. You know what I mean? Everything you hear about him or read about him in and around the changing rooms is really, really positive. So a manager is a manager's delight. You can rely on Alex Tettey, whether he's in the team or not in the team, because you know what he gives you. Josh Martin's a little bit different. He's a young kid looking to make a name for himself on the stage. We see the left back do it. The last game here came on. Yeah. This is an opportunity where he's actually starting. So he'll be nervous, but from what I heard, I've not seen too much of the lad, but he's got tremendous ability. Potential is there. Why not go and show it tonight? You know what I mean? It's a good stage. It's a good stadium. Like we say, it's going to be a bit chilly. So again, you're seeing, well, okay, what are you going to be like out of possession? Are you going to be doing the hard work? Is your work ethic going to be good as well? Not only in the possession, we want to see it out of possession as well. So I think it's a great opportunity for him to come into the team tonight.
And as you say, Norwich have been playing really well without really playing well. The form has been great. And let's have a look at the highlights from Middlesbrough. Take a look at this.
Visibly concerned whenever Buendia gets the ball. He's cleverly rolled the free kick to the right-hand side. Aarons crosses into the penalty area. Hugo can't quite get his head to it. Outside the penalty area it goes to Buendia, who shoots! Oh, not far wide. Buendia holding off Howson and getting past Howson, and it's good from Buendia. He's got himself up towards the edge of the penalty area. This is brilliant skill from Buendia, who tees up Marco Steepman, who gets the shot away, but it takes a big deflection. And it's Saville on the left-hand side who will cross early towards the edge of the penalty area. Tavernier goes into the area, plays it across into the 6-yard box. There's a tap in. In fact, Pump can get there. He can't. He tees up, but Spence, whose shot is blocked. Norwich living dangerously at the moment. Now a challenge by Gibson. Was that a penalty? It was. Ben Gibson, on his return to the Riverside, has given away a penalty. Tim Krul stands on his line, spreading out his arms, trying to make himself look as big as possible, but he's sent the wrong way. Tavernier slips as he takes the...
It's a two-touch.
Hang on, the goal's been disallowed, because as Tavernier slipped, I think he hit the ball twice. He hit the ball onto his standing foot, and so the free kick goes Norwich's way. Well, what a stroke of luck that is. He's level with the Borough penalty area. Paqueta goes on the overlap. Aarons ignores him. Comes inside. Buendia plays it back to Max Aarons. Aarons wide of goal. Was he caught there? It's a penalty. Aarons is fouled by Coulson, and now Norwich City have a penalty. The last time Pukki took a penalty, he slipped. But he's got one now that could give Norwich the lead. Teemu Pukki's penalty rolled into the corner of the net. There's no doubt about that one. Norwich City lead at the Riverside. It's Teemu Pukki's 5th goal of the season. And with 18 minutes to go, it's Middlesbrough 0, Norwich 1.
And that game, Robin, in itself has shown kind of a resilience Norwich have found this season, because they're winning games without particularly playing well, but they're not scoring as free-flowingly as they have done in the past, but they're not conceding goals either. They've become quite resilient. They found an edge to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the clean sheets is the main reason they're at the top of the table, because they've not been free scoring this season. So winning 1-0. I mean, many times, so it's sort of like you need that as a platform for a successful team. If you don't concede goals, you're not going to be too far off the top.
Yeah, and it was a game of 2 penalties, of course, and Norwich got a little bit of luck on the first one. We can see here the Middlesbrough penalty, and it was a double kick, judged to be a double kick, and it was a great spot as well, and we can see this now as he clips the ball. He does something, if you remember, Teemu Pukki did something similar here recently, but actually put it in and hit the crossbar and missed, but this one goes in. So, I mean, it's a great spot from the referee, isn't it? Is it because he goes down there? If you watch when he takes a penalty, he doesn't get up and run off celebrating. So is he almost giving the referee the eye to say, I've done something wrong here?
Yeah, like I said, I think the referee was sort of like 60% sure that he's kicked it twice. And then you think, is it? But the actual player's reaction of not getting up and actually looking at the referee saying, did he actually see that? Yes, I did see that, son. Yeah, I mean, 100%, you kicked it twice. So he done well, really, because there's no cameras to say that.
No VAR, of course.
Absolutely. So for the referee to do that, I thought you really commend him.
Yeah, and we heard that apparently Neil Warnock wasn't happy with his ground staff after the game as well.
I don't think he's a ground staff on Monday morning.
No, I mean, how can that be the ground staff? His foot slipped from underneath him.
Like you say, these boots they have now, they have like the blades on and whatever. And if you run up to it at an angle and it just slips, there's nothing to stop you. But like you say, it happens, and it's sort of like it's cost Middlesbrough.
Yeah, and Tim Krul didn't save that penalty, of course, but he's been outstanding this season, isn't he? And here's just a little bit of a montage for how well he's been doing over the last couple of seasons for Norwich.
Firmino sets up the volley, and it's a save by Krul. Alexander-Arnold takes it. Oh, what a save by Tim Krul.
Origi, Firmino, Henderson! Well done, Tim Krul, once more, because I think this is a tremendous save, another tremendous save.
Henry Ward, Newcastle with a goal, flies it in. Salah in the penalty area, swivels, shoots, Krul saves, Keita from the rebound. What a save from Krul! How did he save that?
It's Ruben Neves. It's a magnificent save by Tim Krul. Exceptional by the Dutch goalkeeper to keep that out. The dip and the swerve and the angle was nigh on perfect, and so the reaction.
Well, it's been hugely integral to Norwich's success in recent seasons. Norwich have always been blessed with goalkeepers, and probably none to more than the man himself, Brian Gunn, who's joining us from the gantry in Stoke this evening. There he is. He's there somewhere. I'm not sure. It looks like Gru out of on that picture.
Father and son. Angus made it onto the front page of the programme tonight. Unfortunately, he's not playing in the match, but I'll have to take a couple home for his mum now.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. And look, you're up. You're doing us proud being there tonight on a cold Tuesday night in Stoke. But we're just talking about Tim Krul there, how influential he's been, and Norwich have been over the years in terms of goalkeepers. But he's been outstanding, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I saw him first hand when I went to the game at Middlesbrough Saturday working for Radio Norfolk, and although he didn't have much to do in the game, he was commanding and very confident, and that oozes onto the lads in front of him, and that in hand then helped Grant Hanley and then Ben Gibson perform to their highest level as well. And then the two younger defenders, Max Aarons and Jacob Sorensen. It was a really tight-knit group at the back there, and they really deserved the clean sheet, and they were delighted with it at the end of the game.
And Tim Krul he seems to be getting better with age, Gunny. Is that a general rule for goalkeepers? Because he's 32 now. He seems to be doing fantastically well back in the Dutch squad. I mean, is it a general rule? Because if he's a 32-year-old outfield player, he's probably not getting so much game time. But being a goalkeeper, he could go on for years. And actually, that years of experience he's built up is now really standing him in good stead.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you've got to remember he's had 18 months or so out of the game as well with a bad injury. And then, I think he was at Brighton. He was on the bench for a while. He came to Norwich City. It was a bit of a gamble for all parties, really, because they didn't know the extent of his fitness. Obviously, he came into the squad, and he's never looked back since then. And his fitness levels are fantastic. He's training every day. He doesn't shirk out of any of the training sessions. And then, obviously, now he's been picked back into the national side, and he looks like he's got the number 1 spot back at the moment because Stevenson at Barcelona is out with an injury. So Tim Krul played a couple of games when he was away last week. So he's buzzing at the moment, and as I say, great to have your goalkeeper in that sort of form. And then that oozes confidence out to the rest of the players in front of him as well. Yeah,
and to someone who would have faced him in the sticks the other end, Gunny, tonight would of course been your son Angus. He must be devastated. Has that probably been the first time he'd have played against Norwich?
Yes, it would have been, and he unfortunately had an injury about 10 days ago in training when he twisted his ankle and sprained some ligaments. But hopefully that won't be too long, and Angus will get his opportunity later in the season at Carrow Road for the return game. But Stoke City, I've watched a few games obviously since Angus has been here. They're very workmanlike. They've got some experienced players in the side. And young Tyrese Campbell up front is going to be a right handful tonight. I watched him over a number of years now through Manchester City's academy, and then he made the move to Stoke. It was a bit of a gamble leaving Manchester City at the time, but he's come here now and he's got his chance in the first team. Michael O'Neill's really backed him, and he's given him the minutes, and he's able to play all these in all these first team games now. He's getting great experience and scoring goals to boot as well. And another goal on Saturday. A great first-time finish, and he's confident at the moment. Sam Clucas came back into the team at the weekend, and he scored another from the edge of the box, a good strike. And you've got the likes of Stephen Fletcher, good experience. Nick Powell, another with good experience, and it's going to be tough for the Norwich defenders tonight. And obviously Tim Krul will have to be on his toes, to match them.
The top stuff, Gunny. We'll speak to you at half-time. Enjoy the game.
Looking forward to it, lads. Have a good one.
I talked a little bit about Michael O'Neill. He's come into the manager at Stoke, and he's had time to turn things around. But it's a team in transition, isn't it? A club in transition. And we've gone through so many managers in recent years. Yeah. But he seems to be getting a bit of a tune out of them at the moment.
Yeah, I think so. You mean he came in last year? I don't know how many games to go, but his basically aim was to keep him up. Yeah, which was ridiculous. Like a club the size of Stoke not being in the Premier League so long ago.
And like I said, that experience they've got in their team as well.
Absolutely. So he came in, he kept them up. That was a job to do last year. And then obviously he's recruited in the summer, like Gunny's saying there, Tyrese Campbell. He's scoring some goals as well. And for a manager to have faith in a young kid is fantastic. But he's got age and experience around him as well. And I think that summer period was important to him, getting back for pre-season. They're starting to get on a roll now and whatever, and I think they will be serious contenders at the end of it. But like I say, he's a good manager because he did really well at Northern Ireland. But now he's gone into that club day-to-day involvement, and he seems to be thriving on it.
Yeah, and Norwich have had some fabulous centre-backs over the years in front of Tim Krul. We're talking about John Polston, Ian Butterworth, Ian Culverhouse.
You're going to mention me.
And Rob Newman. But the proper central defenders, we talked a lot about last year about Ben Godfrey, who played central defender. Probably wasn't a central defender naturally, but did a decent job. They've now got players in front of him who are out-and-out central defenders, and they're keeping clean sheets. They look more comfortable at the back.
Yeah, and like I say, you mentioned the defence keeping a clean sheet. The defence, for me, is the goalkeeper as well. And like I say, they have got like a back five now that look really, really solid. You know what I mean? They're not conceding goals. And you've got Zimmerman on the bench as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? Maybe if there's...
Grant Hanley's playing tonight. We can see his stats here when he's been playing and when he hasn't been playing for Norwich. And we knew he was kind of, important for Norwich at the time. But when you look at those stats, 52 goals conceded without him in 28 games. And, he played 22 games, only conceded 29. So it's not just his defensive responsibilities. He's a leader as well on the pitch.
He's a leader. He's an experienced head. He's a winner. He's a winner, and that rubs off on all the other players as well. And like I say, he looks as though he will tell people if they're shirking their responsibilities in and around the defensive box. He wants people to die for that goal. You know what I mean? He wants to protect that goal so much. You've got to throw yourself in front of the ball if someone's shooting. You've got to put your head in it if it's coming in across and whatever. You know what I mean? He's a winner, and to have winners in your back line, I cannot underestimate how important that is, and he's showing that every time he's playing now.
And when you have got that build, base to build on, you then got your flair players that can do things going forward. And we saw the montage before we came on air actually of goals against Stoke in the past. Darren Huckabee was banging him in for fun against them, and we can talk to Hucks now. I think he's on the line for us. Hucks, that was a good little montage of you there. You Mr. Light, enjoyed playing against Stoke, didn't you?
I don't know, it looked like it's the only team I've scored against, to be honest with you. But it's nice to get a few goals on the TV every now and again.
Is that a trophy cabinet behind you as well, Hucks? What have we got in there?
Oh, you got a few Premier League hat-tricks in there, a few Championship hat-tricks. I just thought I'd get it out and so you can have a little look.
It's impressive, mate. It's better than mine, I tell you that. Got nothing in mind. All right, looking forward to tonight's game as well. Stoke are a difficult team to play against. We talked a little bit about this cold Tuesday night. I mean, is that such a thing? If looking from a player's point of view, when you want to run like this as Norwich are at the moment, that doesn't matter, does it? You want to play games.
No, you wanted to play games, and I think that was when you was playing against the Pulis side, but it was slightly different, where we were bombarding the box with throw-ins and corners and set pieces. So I think this is a different Stoke team, but like I say, we're on a bit of a roll at the minute, and we've just got to continue what you're doing. I don't think we've played as well as we can do yet, but like I heard you before, defensively, we look very, very strong. Considering we sold 2 players for 30 million, this off-season, we're actually looking better in defence than we did last season. So, it just shows you how well the lads who've come in have done.
Is it sometimes a bit of give and take, Hucks, with that? Because sometimes if you're more defensively strong, you don't tend to score quite so many goals. And if you score a lot of goals defensively, you tend to be a bit open at the back. So is it finding that balance? And this is just the way things are for Norwich at the moment. They're looking a bit more stable defensively. So they're not quite getting forward. The fullbacks certainly aren't getting forward as much as they used to.
I think it helps that you've got 2 hardened centre-halves playing there, but you've also got 2 holding midfielders sitting in front. So we are solid. At the minute, we've got good goals at the right times. Saturday's game was basically a game of 2 penalties. If they'd scored their penalty, it might have been a bit more difficult for us to get in the game. But if you're solid and you don't look like conceding, you only need 1 goal to get a win. And I think that's been the big difference this season, is we've looked solid and we've took our chances when they've came. So hopefully that'll continue tonight.
Yeah, and the injury list has been growing and growing for Norwich at the minute, Hucks. I mean, there's 7 or 8, 9 players on it at the moment. But the one thing you notice from this season is they've got strength in depth, haven't they? I think it's probably something that Norwich haven't had in the past. If they got a few injuries, it might have affected them. But certainly this season, they've got players that can drop in. And Alex Tetty's only making probably his 2nd or 3rd appearance this season. So it just shows the quality they've got. And you talked about players coming in. Skipper, I think, has added a huge element in that midfield area, a bit of resilience and a bit of grit.
Yeah, they've definitely got players in every position, really. The only probably positions they haven't got is fullbacks. And, if Max Aaron's got injured, we might struggle a little bit. But everywhere else, you've got players that could come in. If Buendia got injured, you've got Tom Cantwell who could come in. Up front, if Pukki gets injured, we might have a bit of a problem because obviously Hugo's injured, Adam Ida's injured. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can keep Pukki fit. He's going to get you goals. And like I said, from the quality we've seen this season in the Championship, we've got a better squad than everybody else, I believe. So it's just a matter of getting the performances right and staying solid and go and get the results we deserve.
And is that the point of Hucks as well? To me, it seems like this is a very winnable season in the Championship. Not maybe just winning the league, but certainly getting up. There doesn't seem to be anybody really kind of grabbing it by the horns and making it theirs. And Norwich, as I say, without really playing particularly well at times, find themselves top of the league.
Yeah, I do believe when we're in this situation where there's no fans, it is team against team. It's 11 players against 11 players. And normally, if you've got the better players, I believe you should come out on top. So, looking at every squad we've played against, we're better than them. Even Middlesbrough on the last game, they were half decent, but they didn't have any forwards that could really hurt us. So, all in all, I think we've got a good balance of defenders, midfielders and attackers that no one else has got in the Championship.
Yeah, and what can Norwich expect from Stoke tonight? Is it a traditional Stoke side, or would you say that Michael O'Neill's probably got them set up a little bit differently?
It's definitely different. Obviously, I played with Michael at Coventry for a little bit, and he's not going to be route one. I wouldn't have thought. There'll still be dangerous from set pieces, but it's not the old Stoke we used to play. You literally used to be bombarded for 90 minutes, throw-ins, corners, headers, scrapping. So I think it will be a football match. And if it is a football match, we should be the better team. We've got better players than them. There's no doubt in my mind. They've done pretty well this season considering where they were last season, but pound for pound, we should come away with something like this game.
You talk about that, and I've looked at every side we played in the Championship so far this season. I look at the teams coming up, and I looked at every individual in that team, and you probably feel the same way as me. There's not many of those players you'd actually take and drop into the Norwich side at the moment, is there?
No, not when we've got everybody fit. Obviously, Dow, Todd Cantwell, Buendia, even Rupp's been excellent. Rupp's and Skip have been excellent in holding midfield. I look at the league as a whole, and honestly, I just can't see if we're at it and we've got as many players fit as we need. I think we should have enough to finish in the top two. I really do. Even though we haven't really played that well this season, and games could have gone either way, we've got the points that we need, and I think we just got to kick on from here.
And what about the fans come back, Hux? Is it going to be a very different place to be, the Championship? We know it makes a difference to the teams when they're playing, but is it going to change things around? Are you going to see teams putting runs together just because they've got fans back in? Because you mentioned it there. It makes such a difference that teams actually can become a 12th man when they've got the fans in.
Yeah, like I said, I do believe it. For us, it's not better because there are no fans, obviously, because it'd still be great to get everyone back. But, go to places like, Wickham and places like that, Rotherham, and if they've got fans, it's more difficult because they'll be holding on, the fans will be getting behind them. But I do believe that this is an advantage for us at the minute, but we want to get as many fans as we can back. But it all depends on what tier we're in. Obviously, we're hoping we're going to be in tier 1 or 2. But who knows till the announcement is on. I think it's on Thursday, but we'll see. Yeah,
good stuff, Hux. Enjoy the first half. Come see you at half-time and make sure you polish those trophies in between.
I'll get the ball. I'll put the balls up for you, Jocker. Pump them up.
We talked about it there, but that's a really good point he's made about when we come back out of this isolation and fans are allowed back in the stadiums, which tier we fall into, because some stadiums are going to have fans in, some stadiums are not. I mean,
tier 3 is 0, isn't it?
Yeah, so all of a sudden you might thinking this could give you a little bit of impetus as a team to get you going again, then it's taken away again. It's a very is it making a massive difference to results and performances at the moment?
Like Darren said there, I think it is. You go to places like a Wickham and a Rotherham, and no disrespect to those two clubs, Norwich should beat them. What I mean? When they're full of their fans and they're really giving them like a real G up when they need a G up and whatever, it sort of gives the players extra energy and extra resolve. You know what I mean? So it does make it more difficult. So, like you say, we all want fans to come back into the ground. We all want them to do, and like I say, and hopefully, you know what I mean, it won't be long before they can do that. You know what I mean? But like I say, it does make a difference. But like Darren's just said, then I totally agree with him that if it is just 11v11, no fans in the ground, the best team will win. And Norwich have shown that this season.
Yeah, and we go on about this Tuesday night cold, wet weather in Stoke quite a bit. Our producer really, really believes in it. So we've got some stats here for you as well to have a little look at. And since the start of the Premier League, Norwich have not played Stoke away on a Tuesday night. But Stoke at home, their record in 131 games on a Tuesday night. They've won 67. They've drawn 36 and they've only lost 28. So you could argue there is some stat to that actually does give them a little bit of advantage, doesn't it?
Well, the producer needs to get something else to do.
Did you hear that, Joe? I come out of his mouth.
Sorry, Joe. Yeah. But no, it does. I mean, clubs like to play on a Tuesday because it's stats. You can't take away the stats, you know what I mean? Because they know that teams don't like coming there on an evening, on a Tuesday evening.
And talk about gamesmanship, Rob. You have a little look at this. We've got our one of the kit men, I think it's John from Norwich, has sent us this clip on this thing today. And this is Norwich's change room this evening. It's basically a marquee outside the stadium. I mean, is that gamesmanship? Because we all know this stadium at Stoke now, it's quite nice. There's plenty of rooms in there. I'm sure there's no one in the stadium. Surely there's a better place they could put the players than in a marquee outside the stadium.
Yeah, it's kidology, isn't it? It's kidology. Norwich will look at that and make fantastic. There's pictures of every player after that.
Yeah, but that's Norwich dressing it.
That's fantastic. So you're going in there and it's making you feel like a Norwich City player, which is all credit to the kit man, whoever devised that idea. But Stoke will say, well, it's a good enough place to change in this time. Yeah, I mean, it's surreal time that we're all having and whatever. I don't know whether there's heaters in there. If there's no heaters in there, that's going to be pretty cold. I would imagine there's got to be heaters in there as well. But even so, we're not going into a change room, we're going into a marquee. So Stoke will say, well, listen, it's good enough. But if you're a player actually changing in there, you're thinking, what's this? So hopefully Norwich won't have that attitude.
Gamesmanship?
Oh, mate, gamesmanship all day long. You know what I mean? So I can remember, many, many years ago, we went to Arsenal, mate. It was when we won the first game 4-2. the underfloor heating was on.
Oh, it was marble floors, wasn't it? It was in the summer.
And it was
about 40
August.
degrees outside and they
August.
put the underfloor heating on.
It was August, mate.
Yeah.
That's the reason why we were 2-0 down after 45 minutes.
But we won 4-2. So it all turned out right in the end, didn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's kidology. You know what I mean? Like, they tried to do it within the realms of, like, the rules of the game. Because when we used to play, you know what I mean, they didn't used to cut the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, leave the grass long for people like you. You ain't going to be able to dribble it on long grass. So there's always a way. If they can get away with it.
Dressing rooms we've had here at Carrow Road.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you can get away with it, or there's some psychologist somewhere will do this, it's within the rules, but I can tell you it will affect the opposition. And if you can do that, everyone tries it.
I love it all. Think it's brilliant.
Absolutely.
Just wanted to go in there as well. He mentioned Tyrese Campbell, and he's our key matchup tonight against Sorensen at left back, and he you know he's a powerful player. He's going to score goals, and Jakob Sorensen not being a left back is that a particular area where you think Tyrese Campbell might be trying to exploit tonight?
Absolutely, and any opposition manager would be, because you've got a right-footed midfield player playing at left back. You know what I mean? So he's going to be seen as a weak link. But again, going back to what Gunny said. Yeah, I mean, the back four and the goalkeeper have been playing fantastic, and he's been one of the back four, so he's been an outstanding success, really. But Tyrese Campbell will see that as an opportunity, saying, well, I can take this guy on and whatever. But Sorensen's done really well, and it's going to be a test for him.
Yeah, and looking at tonight's game then as a whole, do you go there and think the point's enough? It's away from home, isn't it? Or do you, the way Norwich is, the form Norwich at the moment, they're going for the win, aren't they?
In your mind, yeah. You know what I mean? In an ideal world, a win would be fantastic, but I can be, I don't know, 99% sure that if they get a point tonight, Daniel Farke will be a very, very happy man.
Yeah, and we're going to have a quick look at the flashback. I think the last time Norwich beat Stoke was against, in 2013, it was Johnny House, and I think we're going to have a quick look at that.
It was in fact their first attempt in the 33rd minute. Tilkington holds it on here to Howson! Oh, what a good strike! Begovic will be disappointed to have been beaten from that range, but Norwich City take the lead, and deservedly so. The former Leeds United player scores his first goal of the season.
A few fight balls in the midfield area, and then it pops to Howson, and it's a really good strike. He's beaten at his near post, Begovic, and I feel he'll be very, very disappointed with that. But Norwich have deserved this. The visitors have been very, very good, and now they have a scoreline to reflect their superiority.
Well, that weren't cold, wet and windy, was it? But I suppose we went to Tuesday night, was it? Enjoy the first half. We'll see you at half-time.
Swimming at night, she been calling to me. Hold my breath in the pool, but she been underwater in the Indian Sea. I've been doing it right, can't forget what you said. When you finish with you, baby, you should come and find me in the sea of